this time a real airshow favourite star performer, the Draken.
What if I told you Sweden, the land of IKEA and peaceful neutrality, secretly built a fighter jet so advanced it could make Soviet pilots sweat and NATO take notes? Meet the Saab 35 Draken, the Viking dragon of the skies, a supersonic marvel that wasn't just ahead of its time but practically from another era of aviation brilliance. Imagine a jet that could take off from highways, outmaneuver its rivals with a move so bold it's called the Cobra, and patrol the skies with such dominance that even the Soviets had to tip their hats. This is the untold story of how Sweden, without joining NATO or firing a single shot, created a fighter jet that redefined aerial warfare. Sweden's journey toward creating one of the world's most iconic fighter jets, the Saab 35 Draken, begins with its unique geopolitical stance. For over 200 years, Sweden adhered to a policy of military neutrality, a decision influenced by significant territorial losses. In 1809, Sweden ceded Finland to Russia, a blow that deeply impacted the nation's strategic and political mindset. Determined to avoid further conflicts, Sweden decided to distance itself from the wars that defined 19th and 20th century Europe, including both world wars. During World War II, Sweden maintained its neutrality by making pragmatic, though controversial, decisions. For example, it allowed German forces to pass through its territory to invade Norway. Despite this, the nation focused on preserving peace and developing its industrial and technological capabilities. The Cold War marked a turning point for Sweden's defense policy. Situated near the Soviet Union, Sweden faced a daunting challenge: defending its vast territory, much of which was sparsely populated, while remaining outside NATO. Sweden's neutrality meant that it could not rely on external military alliances for protection, especially if tensions with the Soviets escalated. This strategic isolation pushed Sweden to think independently and innovatively about its defense needs. The solution? Build an advanced fighter jet capable of countering Soviet bombers and patrolling its extensive airspace. The Saab 35 Draken was envisioned as a highly versatile interceptor, fast, durable, and able to operate from unorthodox locations like highways. Its design and development reflected Sweden's resolve to safeguard its sovereignty through self-reliance. By the 1950s, Sweden had transformed its neutrality into a strength, pioneering technological advancements that would cement its reputation as a formidable player in the global aerospace industry. The Draken wasn't just a jet, it was a statement of Swedish ingenuity and resilience in an unpredictable world. The Saab 35 Draken emerged from Sweden's necessity to defend its territory against potential Cold War threats while maintaining its neutrality. The vision behind the Draken was simple yet ambitious: to develop an advanced fighter jet that could rival or outperform the military aircraft of major powers, all while being tailored to Sweden's unique needs. Sweden's vast, sparsely populated territory presented logistical challenges for defense. Unlike conventional military strategies reliant on centralized air bases, Sweden required a fighter jet capable of operating from highways and rural roads, ensuring decentralized defense capabilities. The jet also needed to be fast, capable of exceeding Mach 1.5 to intercept Soviet bombers swiftly. Simplicity in maintenance was another essential feature, allowing quick repairs and refueling in remote locations without the need for extensive infrastructure. The 1950s marked the dawn of a supersonic era, defined by sleek aerodynamic designs and cutting-edge engineering. The Saab 35 needed to embody this trend while remaining practical for Sweden's defensive strategy. To achieve this, engineers at Saab embraced the revolutionary delta wing design, a configuration that promised superior supersonic performance. While delta wings were already being explored globally, Sweden pushed the boundaries further, experimenting with innovative solutions to overcome their inherent stability challenges. The Draken also had to reflect Sweden's philosophy of independence. As a non-aligned nation during the Cold War, Sweden couldn't rely on foreign military equipment for its defense. The Draken represented a homegrown solution, but entirely by Swedish engineers and tailored specifically to Swedish requirements. Ultimately, the vision for the Saab 35 Draken was not just about building a fighter jet, it was about creating a multi-role aircraft that embodied Sweden's commitment to neutrality, innovation, and self-reliance. The Draken's success would later cement Sweden's position as a pioneer in military aviation, demonstrating that thinking outside the box could yield groundbreaking results. The Saab 35 Draken was born out of Sweden's innovative approach to military aviation, where practicality met cutting-edge technology. Its design process began in the early 1950s with a clear set of requirements. The jet needed to be supersonic, versatile, easy to maintain, and capable of operating from unconventional runways like highways. The cornerstone of the Draken's design was its unique double delta wing configuration. This revolutionary design combined two wing angles. The inner wing was swept at 80 degrees for supersonic performance, while the outer wing at 60 degrees provided stability and improved performance at lower speeds. This addressed the common drawback of delta-wing aircraft, which often struggled during takeoffs and landings. To test the concept, Saab developed a smaller prototype known as the Little Draken. This aerodynamic testbed validated the double delta-wing design when it accidentally broke the sound barrier during testing. A clear sign of the potential for groundbreaking performance. Encouraged by these results, Saab greenlit the full-scale prototype, and the Saab 35 Draken began to take shape. The Draken was powered by a license-built Rolls-Royce Avon engine, which delivered a maximum speed of Mach 2.3, while its thrust-to-weight ratio of 0.7 was modest. Its aerodynamic efficiency and lightweight design made it a formidable aircraft. The lack of modern fly-by-wire controls or onboard computers required exceptional skill from pilots, but the Draken's performance was unmatched for its time. Engineers also prioritized durability and field adaptability. The Draken was designed to withstand Sweden's harsh winters and rugged terrain. Maintenance was simplified so that crews could refuel and rearm the jet in the field using minimal resources, ensuring rapid redeployment. By 1955, the Draken had taken its first flight, breaking new ground in supersonic aviation. Its innovative design and exceptional performance quickly established it as a symbol of Swedish engineering prowess, combining practicality with cutting-edge aerodynamics to create a versatile and reliable interceptor. The Saab 35 Draken's operational career highlighted its versatility and resilience, cementing its reputation as one of the most innovative fighter jets of its era. Designed to counter Cold War threats, the Draken exceeded expectations, becoming a cornerstone of Swedish defense strategy. One of the Draken's most remarkable features was its ability to operate from unconventional runways like highways. Sweden's decentralized defense strategy required aircraft that could take off and land from rural roads, enabling rapid redeployment even in the event of an airbase destruction. Crews trained extensively to refuel and rearm the jet in the field, a capability that proved vital for ensuring operational readiness. The Draken was also a pioneer in aerial combat maneuvers. It was the first aircraft to perform the legendary Cobra maneuver, a high-alpha maneuver that allowed the jet to regain control after a stall or evade an enemy on its tail. This maneuver, developed through rigorous training to counter aerodynamic instability, became a game-changer in air combat tactics. Draken pilots regularly outperformed opponents in training exercises, even when flying against newer jets like the Saab 37 Viking. Despite its success, the Draken's operational history was not without challenges. The Swedish Air Force lost over 500 pilots during the Cold War, many due to accidents during the high-stakes training. These tragedies underscored the risks associated with flying aerodynamically unstable aircraft without modern fly-by-wire controls. However, these losses also highlighted the dedication and skill of Swedish pilots who pushed the Draken to its limits. The Draken's international service added to its legacy. In addition to Sweden, countries like Denmark, Finland, and Austria adopted the aircraft, each tailoring it to their defense needs. Austrian Drakens, for example, were in service until 2005, showcasing the design's longevity and adaptability. While the Draken never saw actual combat, it played a crucial role in Cold War patrols and intercept missions. Notably, Draken pilots intercepted Soviet and NATO aircraft during tense moments, using the Cobra maneuver to surprise and outmaneuver their opponents. These encounters demonstrated the Draken's capability as a formidable opponent in aerial engagements. The Saab 35 Draken wasn't just a fighter jet, it was Sweden's way of saying, "We may be neutral, but we're not defenseless." While it never fired a missile in anger, the Draken proved its worth by becoming an aerial guardian during the Cold War, patrolling skies and keeping Soviet bombers on their toes. Think of it as the Viking shield maiden of the skies, ready to defend its territory with unmatched agility. What set the Draken apart was its versatility. It could take off and land on highways, a feature that sounds like something out of a Fast and the Furious movie. Imagine a jet roaring down your local freeway. Well, in Sweden, that was part of the plan. Pilots trained to rearm and refuel these jets in the middle of nowhere, probably while munching on Swedish meatballs. The idea was simple. If the Soviets decided to pop in uninvited, the Draken could meet them anytime, anywhere. But the Draken wasn't just practical, it was stylish. Its signature move, the Cobra maneuver, made it the ballerina of the skies. This wasn't some flashy airshow trick, it was a life-saving move. When a Draken pilot found themselves in trouble, they could whip out this move, flip their jet like a pancake, and leave enemies scratching their heads. In one legendary encounter, a Finnish Draken pilot used the maneuver to stalk a British Nimrod patrol plane. The RAF crew was so impressed that they literally congratulated him over the radio. Talk about classy combat. The Draken's adventures weren't just limited to Sweden. Pilots from Austria, Denmark, and Finland also took this beast for a spin, showing the world how versatile and capable it was. It even patrolled Austrian skies during the Yugoslav wars, pointing that this Viking dragon still had fire in its belly. In the end, the Draken might not have seen combat, but it won countless aerial duels and left a lasting impression on everyone it encountered. If jets could have fan clubs, the Draken would definitely top the list. The Saab 35 Draken left a legacy so impressive that even today, aviation geeks get teary-eyed talking about it. Think of it as the grandparent who tells you they walked uphill both ways to school, but in this case, it actually happened. The Draken blazed trails in aviation design and combat tactics, proving that Sweden could punch way above its weight class. First off, that double delta wing design was a stroke of genius. At a time when other countries were still figuring out how to make jets look cool, Sweden went full Picasso and crafted an aerodynamic masterpiece. The design wasn't just pretty, it solved real problems like stability at low speeds and high angles. It's like Sweden skipped the trial and error stage and went straight to nailed it. But the Draken wasn't just a pretty face. Its ability to operate from highways made it the MacGyver of fighter jets. If you've ever been stuck in traffic and thought, this highway could use some fighter jet action, Sweden had already been there, done that. The Draken could be refueled and rearmed by ground crews who might have moonlighted as IKEA assembly experts, quick, efficient, and ready to go. And let's not forget its claim to fame, the Cobra maneuver. This wasn't just a party trick, it was a game changer in aerial combat. The Draken was doing Cobra moves before it was cool, leaving enemies stunned and wondering, did that jet just stop mid-air? Even the Soviets were impressed and eventually adopted the maneuver for their own jets. Beyond Sweden, the Draken's legacy spread to Finland, Denmark, and Austria, proving its versatility and longevity. Austria retired its last Draken in 2005, making it the grand finale for a jet that had served with distinction for decades. In the end, the Draken wasn't just a jet, it was a statement. It said, "We're Sweden, we're neutral, but if you mess with us, you're in for a bad time." Its legacy lives on in the Saab Viking and Gripen, proving that this Viking dragon set the standard for what a fighter jet could be. The Saab 35 Draken isn't just a chapter in aviation history, it's the kind of story that makes you wish jets had trading cards. From its groundbreaking double delta wing design to its jaw-dropping Cobra maneuver, the Draken proved that Sweden's engineers weren't just thinking outside the box, they were inventing the box. This jet didn't just defend Swedish skies, it defended Sweden's reputation as a nation of innovators. It took on challenges like highway landings and Soviet bombers with a bring-it-on attitude. And while it never saw combat, it won the respect of pilots and nations around the world. So here's to the Draken, Sweden's Viking dragon, the pioneer of aerial moves, and the fighter jet that redefined what it meant to rule the skies. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out our sponsor, War Thunder, to relive the glory of this legendary jet. Thanks for soaring with us through the incredible legacy of the Saab 35 Draken. If this story got your adrenaline pumping, give us a like and subscribe for more aviation adventures.